In today's video, I am going to be checking out a workout of Tre Johnson, and what we are going to focus on is how he shoots the basketball. Being able to shoot the basketball is a very important skill to have, obviously, and having the proper form for you is very important. So let's get down, let's check out Tre Johnson. Really quickly, if you want to be able to shoot the ball from further away, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below. Now let's get down, let's check out Tre Johnson's basketball shooting form. Okay, so now he's going to be going off of a quick sidestep in this drill, and one of the things that I really do notice right away is his base. And even when it's in game, he tends to have a very narrow base. Even when when you're talking about a set shot, as we basically have right here, where he's going straight up, he's not doing a quick sidestep or a step back or something like that, he has somewhat of a narrow base. The one thing, however, that I do notice that I really do like is that his base and his hips and his shoulders are all pointing in the same direction. This is very important, being able to do this, because this is going to help you have a consistent shot. Going into this yet one more time, we can see that he does have a consistent base, however, so that is very important. Even though a wider base is going to help you with more stability, it's going to help you with, generally speaking, a more consistent percentage of shot. Having a consistent base where it's the exact same width every single time is going to help you drastically as well. However, when he's coming off of the dribble, he does have a wider base, which is actually quite interesting. A set shot for him, he has a very narrow base, while with a dribble up shot, he's got a wider base. That's kind of an interesting fact to be able to have, and that makes sense because when you're coming off the dribble, you're moving, in a wider base will help you be more stable going up into that shot. So your base, I just need to tell everyone that it's very important. Now, when we see him going into his shot, when he's going to gather this ball, we can see that he's already down low into going up into his shot. Being able to prepare yourself going into that shot, a lot of players will dribble in, they're going to be standing up, they got to dip, then they got to go up. That takes a lot of time. If you want to be able to score on more defenders, you start low, as we see Tre Johnson doing right here. We can see that his back is roughly around 100 degrees. We can also see that his lead leg, anyways, is around 100 degrees as well. There's an old saying that you need to be 90 degrees and 90 degrees. That's extremely hard, and generally speaking, 90 degrees, is, especially on your knee, is going to be extremely hard to be able to get back up, and this is actually just going to give you a faster shot speed than if you were to dip all the way down to 90 degrees. Now, if you're having troubles with distance, 90 degrees will give you potentially more power because you're engaging the legs more, or by starting on your toe instead of having your heel on the ground can give you more power as well. He steps into this shot with his right leg. He tends to inwards point his toe, which is kind of interesting. A lot of players do that. I used to do that as a younger player. That sometimes helps your right side get in line. However, I would definitely suggest having your feet pointing in the exact same direction and not pointing, and eventually, if we actually put a straight line on this, eventually that crosses, and I'm going to tell you right now that can lead to an inconsistent shot. However, he did have 7 minutes of no misses, so there is that too. By starting low also will help you engage that lower back, which should give you a lot of your power. The farther you shoot from further away, or the further away you shoot, the more legs and lower back you want to use, and you don't want to add any more power to your arm. That's going to help you stay consistent. Going up into his shot, his shoulder and elbow do get in line with the rim, which is extremely important. From other angles, that ball is also over top of his upper arm, which creates what I call the shooting triangle. It'll always be a straight shot. He is slightly tilted away, and while there's a lot of old school coaches who say you should not be tilted away from the basket, if you were squared up to the basket, that flares the elbow out, which makes that shooting triangle not happen. So being slightly tilted is extremely important. Now his set point is right above his forehead, above his head. This is kind of an interesting shooting form because there's a lot of players with lower shooting forms these days in front of their eyes or to the right of their right eye or left eye, depending on if they're right or left-handed. A higher set point is actually very beneficial when you start getting into higher levels like the NBA because it's harder to block. We can also see that he has zero thumb flick and he has a soft release. A soft release like this is going to help with more rotation on that ball. You want rotation to be able to have it hit that rim and eventually bounce in. No thumb flick is very important as well. If you had a hard release, that would give it even more spin. However, it's usually leading to a lesser arc on the shot. And while this angle may seem a bit off, we can see that it's around 60 degrees, so it is a higher arc shot. I'm going to tell you right now that you're probably looking at a shot that's around 45 degrees just because this camera is angled up to look at the ball, so it's not in line with the backboard or with the rim. So why I'm mentioning this is because at 42-ish to about 45 degrees, that is the perfect sweet spot for the drop on the ball. Any higher than 45, there's too much drop. If it hits the rim, there's a higher chance that it'll bounce out because of gravity, while not enough arc on the ball, less than 42, roughly 41, 40 in that range, less than that, the rim will look super small to the ball. With a higher arc, the rim looks bigger, which means that the ball should drop easier. With a lesser arc, the rim looks smaller to the ball. I hope that these tips help you shoot the basketball better and understand Tre Johnson's shooting form. If it does, hit that like button, subscribe, make sure to go check out my shooting workout that is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.